Hi guys, welcome to Velocity Car Detailing. Today I'm going to take you through the journey of this detail. The video is a little over 20 minutes long, so why don't you grab a drink, some snacks and sit back and enjoy. So here we're just going through the pre-wash, washing, decontamination stages. As with any detail, if you're going to be doing any machine polishing, this is one of the most important steps, as you need to fully decontaminate the paintwork before you approach it with any kind of machine polisher. Having completed the hand wash stage, we're now on to the mechanical decontamination. This is using a clay bar. This is a manufactured clay specifically for the automotive industry. The purpose of this is to remove any contamination that has bonded to the paintwork that hasn't been removed by the liquid decontamination, which is the tar and glue remover, fallout remover. Once all the wet work's complete, it's brought inside the studio where it can be dried off. Using this car dryer, it's going to blow all of the air from out all of the gaps and crevices, so that you're working with a completely dry car when you start polishing. So a little bit about this car. It's one of 5 or 6 classic cars that this client currently owns. It's a local client, literally only 5 minutes or so from my studio. So it was a pleasure for him to bring this down for me to work on, hopefully then moving on to the rest of his collection. Off comes the wheel. This gives us full access to inside the wheel arch so that it can be fully cleaned and washed. As you can see, there's a build-up of lots of dirt and tar, so that all needs to be removed so that it's looking a lot fresher. now the wheels are removed, they can be taken outside and properly cleaned front and back. The wheels aren't being protected with a ceramic coating, so once cleaned and rinsed off, I'll be applying a sealant which will be more than sufficient for the amount of miles that this car does. It does get used, but it's not heavy use, it's not a daily driven car, so a sealant is more than sufficient to keep the wheels looking good for a few more years. Here I'm tackling the tailpipes. It's always good to give tailpipes a good clean and polish, as once the car is finished it really sets off the car and gives it that sort of extra sort of pop. Here I'm using a metal polish, it's Autosol metal polish with quadruple grade wire wool. What this does is removing all of the sort of build-up of carbon, of road grime, tar, bits and bobs like that that's built up over years. It was clear to me that this hasn't been done for a very long time on this particular car, but it's definitely worth doing. Oddly enough, deep cleaning the engine bay is actually one of my favourite parts of any detail. Just taking your time, working through it bit by bit with your steamer, combination of brushes and things to get into the nooks and crannies, it's just very therapeutic. And it's nothing better than when the client opens the engine bay on presentation and just sees the cleaned and polished chrome everywhere. It just makes all the difference. So now the engine bay is complete, it's time to move on to the exterior and the polishing work. As you can see, there's quite heavy swirl marks, the clarity of the paint is not good and it's quite faded, so it's time to do some work on that to restore it. On this detail I take a two-step approach. First step is cutting the paint to get rid of the swirl marks, and then the second step is refining the paintwork. Using a smaller polisher like this 3-inch Rupes polisher helps you get into those sort of tighter curved areas where the 5-inch polisher won't get into. Now moving on to the 1-inch polishing for the more intricate areas, like around this door handle and the lip that goes up underneath the window. There's still areas that you can't use the 1-inch polisher for, like these louvered vents. So the only way to attack these is by good old finger polishing. With all the paint polishing complete, it's now time to move on to some of the other areas that we can make improvements on, like these side lights and side repeaters. So what I'm doing here is just removing those lenses so that they can be polished properly and give them a clean inside, as they are very dusty from the years of build-up. As this is a removable hardtop, this section is actually made out of plastic, not glass. So over the years it's picked up some damage from being white and clean. So just give it a quick polish to restore some clarity. Over the years, this chrome surround of the windscreen has got faded and mottled from the weathering, so just giving it a bit of a finger polish to just brighten that back up again. Now all the polishing work is complete, it's time to put some wax on. As you can see, this is the Panther wax made by Mitchell & King. This is especially formulated for Jaguar cars, especially the older types, so it actually works very well and adds a lovely layer of protection and gloss. Moving on to the interior, I'm just going to give the chrome sections a little bit of a polish. So we have the centre spokes of the steering wheel, the gear knob and the handbrake. After cleaning the whole interior with an all-purpose cleaner, I'm now going through all the vinyl sections and applying this protective product, which is going to not only restore the colour back to its original, but it's going to apply some protection from UV for the future. And here's the final results. I'm very pleased with how it's turned out from the amount of time I've spent on the car. It's been just over 4.5 days work. The client's request was to give the car a really good freshen up, not to a concours standard, but to bring some life back to the car. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions about anything that's been shown in the video, please drop a comment below. And for those that are interested, you'll also find a full list of all the products used. And if you have any questions or an inquiry you'd like to make about doing some work on one of your cars, please get in touch by visiting my website. You'll find a link to my website in the description.